So this was a pop quiz which was related to bonding and structure. In the first question, which statement about the ions and the ionic bond is correct? So when we check the statements, bromine atom form a negative charge bromide ion. That's true because bromine is a non-metal and the non-metal have the tendency to gain electron or form a negative ion. So this statement is correct. The part B ion. So we have to find which is the correct statement. So A is the right statement. What about B? Why B is wrong? Ionic bonds form between the element in group 7 of the periodic table. So group 7 of the periodic table, because these are non-metals, and if two or more non-metals are there, they don't form ionic bond, they form a covalent. That's why statement B is wrong. Positive ions are formed when atoms loses proton. So when atom is losing a proton, a positive ion, it's not about proton, it is a loss of electron. It should be electron to form a positive ion, not proton. That's why it is wrong. And potassium iodide contain negatively charged potassium ion. That's also wrong. Why this is wrong? Because potassium is a metal and metal cannot form a negative ion. Metal will always form positive ion. So the statement 1 is correct. The first statement A is correct. The second part of a periodic table is shown in question 2. Which type of a chemical bonding is present in oxide of F, like when oxygen combined with F, and oxide of G means oxygen combined with G. So oxygen, we know it's a non-metal. F is a metal, group 2, and G is a non-metal. And how we can distinguish between metal and non-metal? So we draw the stairs between boron and aluminum. The elements what you find on the right hand side of the stairs are the non-metals, and on the left hand side will be the metals. So we have a metal, G is actually a non-metal and F is a metal. So oxide of F means a metal combined with oxygens. So F is, according to this one, F is a metal and O is a non-metal. So when metal combined with a non-metal, what kind of bonding they will have? They will have ionic bonding. But M with G, M is a metal, like G with O. So G with O, so G is a non-metal and O is also a non-metal. Two or more non-metals, they will have a covalent bond. So ionic and covalent, so C should be the right answer for this. Then in question 3, element X react with Y to form a compound. X loses 2 electrons and Y element Y is gain 1 electron. So what is the charge on the ions of element X and Y, and what should be the formula of this compound? So first it will be an ionic, like, because it's a one is losing electron, another one is gaining electron, and element X lose 2 electron. So if it is losing 2 electrons, like X is there, it should be a metal as it is losing electron, and it has a tendency to lose 2 electrons. So what should be the charge on the X? So the charge on the X is +2. And Y has the tendency, like one of the Y will gain 1 electron. So it means 7 electrons are already there in Y. So it need 1 to be stable. So it gain 1 electron. So charge on the Y will be -1. But what should be the formula of the compound? Because if X is losing 2 electron, one Y can gain only one electron. So there must be another Y to gain the second electron. So it should be 1x. It should be 1x and 1x and losing 2 electrons. So we need 2y for this. So what should be the formula of the compound? So the formula of the compound should be x, 1x and 2y. So xy 2. So plus 2 minus 1 and the formula will be xy2. B will be the right answer. Is it clear, this one? Then in question 4, you have to complete a dot and cross diagram to show. You have to show a dot and cross diagram to show the electron arrangement in ions of magnesium chloride. So first you have to write, like draw the structure for magnesium. Magnesium configuration is 282. And chlorine is 287. 17 electrons are there. For magnesium, first shell 2 electron, the second shell it has 8 electron, and the third shell it has 2 electrons. So when this magnesium loses 1 to chlorine, the chlorine is stable because it has 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Then the second electron is also lost, so it will lose that. So both electrons are lost. If you draw the empty last shell, that is also fine. Or if you erase this shell, that's also correct. So both ways it is correct. You don't have to show these arrows. Remove those arrows. And because the magnesium is losing 2 electrons, so the charge on the magnesium should be 2 plus. And each chlorine gain 1 electron, so the charge will be minus 1. How the marks are distributed? The distribution of the mark, like showing the 8 electrons here for magnesium, 1 mark. Showing the 8 electrons for chlorine, which includes 7 dots and 1 cross, that will score the mark. If you draw all circles, like all dots, you will lose that mark. Even though 8 you draw, but if all 8 of them are dots, you will lose the mark. And then 1 mark is for writing a correct charge for magnesium and chlorine. Like magnesium should be plus 2 or 2 plus, and chlorine will be minus 1 or 1 minus. Then complete a dot and cross diagram to show the electron arrangement in a molecule of a carbon dioxide. So we have to check the group number. Oxygen belongs to group 6. So group 6 will share 2 and unshared will be 4. And carbon belongs to group 4. So group 4 will share 4 and unshared will be 0. So if oxygen share 2, carbon will also share 2 from that side. Same way oxygen share 2, carbon share 2 from that side. Unshared electron on carbon, no unshared. For oxygen, there should be 4 unshared electron. So this is a dot and cross diagram for a molecule of carbon dioxide. And how the marks are distributed, you have to show like there are 2 pairs of electrons between the carbon and oxygen. That is 1 mark. Like these pairs when you draw correctly. And 1 mark is for showing the unshared electron on oxygen atoms. That is the second mark. So this was a pop quiz which was related to bonding and structure.